Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for my top 10 comic books of the week. That's right everybody, thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is my top 10 comic books of the week. Out of everything new that came out in comic shops this week, these are the 10 that I would highlight as must-reads. Let's get going. At number 10, Strange Academy #2 from Marvel Comics, written by Skottie Young with artwork by Humberto Ramos and Edgar Delgado on the coloring, Clayton Cowles on the lettering. Strange Academy is basically Marvel meets Hogwarts. That's kind of what it is. It's their school for magic users, and all these new characters have been introduced in the first issue, which I thought was very solid. Issue number 2 is a great follow-up, and it gives us a typical day in the life of a student at Strange Academy. These new characters, they have connections to different magical corners of the Marvel Universe. They're all really exciting. Kid Dormammu, by far, is my favorite so far. This takes the best stuff from the Harry Potter bits, the best stuff from like Jason Aaron's Wolverine of the X-Men, or even Grant Morrison's New X-Men, and throws it and shines a spotlight in the darker Marvel magic universe. I really like this book. I think it's great. Ramos's artwork is fire. I love it. It feels like he's dedicating the time to it, actually able to put out some really solid work. The coloring by Delgado is amazing, and Skottie Young's doing a great job of keeping these characters interesting, keeping a concept that could get boring pretty quickly, pretty fresh. 2 issues in, it's made top 10. At number 9, Batman #94 from DC Comics, written by James Tynion IV with artwork by Gilliam March and Raphael Albuquerque, David Baron on the coloring, Clayton Cowles on the lettering. So Batman '94 is the official conclusion of his dark designs, and it sets up what's coming in the next issue, the Joker War. It completely erupts in this one. James Tynion's done a great job of doing a really low-key, under-the-radar Batman story at first, ramping it up through hype, introducing a new character, a new sidekick to Joker, Punchline. So far, Punchline's been pretty decent, a really strong character, but this plan that has unraveled, that the Joker's just spiraled out of this designer story, to me has been very fantastically done. It's really built itself up with its hype, but it's also executed so well. It delivers on that hype, and that's not something that you usually get from mainstream comics that are really built up on a lot of hype, right? This one, though, lives up to the hype, and it makes us excited for the Joker War event. I'm 100% down for it, and Batman '94 was fantastic. At number 8, Batman's Grave #8, written by Warren Ellis with artwork by Brian Hitch, coloring by Alex Sinclair, Richard Starkings on the lettering. I've been really digging Batman's Grave. It's a kind of slow-paced, slow-burn, murder mystery detective story, but the best stuff about it is the relationship between Alfred and Bruce, and it's accentuated by the idea that we don't have Alfred in the in-continuity Batman books. Being out of continuity lets Ellis and Hitch do a little bit more of what they actually want to do. This, by far, to me, is the best issue of the series. The overall plot becomes way clear. You understand where it's going, but it's the conversation, that dynamic, the dialogue between Bruce and Alfred is just so enriched. I love it. This is the funniest Alfred's ever been. He's got this snarky, sarcastic tone towards Bruce, which he has, it's in his character, but Ellis is able to really capture it and make it very endearing, and you give us a father-son type thing when you do it, and I'm loving it. Brian Hitch's artwork, this is like the Brian Hitch of 20 years ago, and I'm loving it, especially these bold and bright cinematic colors from Alex Sinclair. Richard Starkings, he knows how to letter a comic. This one's badass, and I'm loving it. And at number 7 is Deceased Dead Planet #1 from DC Comics, written by Tom Taylor with artwork by Trevor Hairzon. Yo, someone give Tom Taylor like a supremely major DC book, please. Put him on something like Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, I don't care. Tom Taylor's tearing it up right now at DC. And the Deceased brand, which just like the Injustice book that came before it, it's out of continuity. It's its own thing. It could easily be forgettable, dismissive, and easily forgotten, right? I already said forgettable, but whatever. It could easily be that, but it's not. Tom Taylor's making the most out of this story. It's filled with really tragic moments that you really feel in your gut. It's filled with hopeful moments, optimistic times where the tone shifts, and then he pulls that rug right back out from under you. So this takes place 5 years after the end of the last Deceased series. The heroes have gone off, created their own new world, their own new society, basically, and something brings them back to Earth, and it's crazy, it's wild. You got Jonathan Kent as Superman, a fully into the idea of being Superman. Damian Wayne as Batman. The legacy moving on. Tom Taylor's able to handle this. All the characters. And this crazy concept that could easily be very dismissive, but makes something incredibly fantastic, nuanced, emotional, and action-packed. This is absolute fantastic work from Taylor. Herzein's pencils are great. He was missing MIA in the industry for a while, so it's nice to see him back. He's totally fitting the epicness of the story, but he's able to handle those slow moments that really just get inside of you and seep through your soul. I love it. Deceased, Dead Planet, fantastic. At number 6, Join the Future, number 3, from Aftershock. Written by Zach Kaplan, with artwork by Piotr Kowalski, Brad Simpson on the coloring, Hassan Otsman El Hal on the lettering. Join the Future is a sci-fi western, and it's not exactly what you think it's going to be, and it's great. This book has been unpredictable. I thought I was able to predict where the direction of this book was going at the end of issue number 1, but it keeps surprising me. This is a great issue. It's got a little bit of a training montage vibe to it, but it's got twists and it's got turns that you maybe see coming, but you don't quite see coming the way that they come. I love this book. The artwork is clean and crisp, but it's got enough texture and detail there to really balance the dichotomy of the book, of this futuristic utopian city. Meanwhile, you got people that just want to live simple lives out on the frontier, out on the plain, out in the forest, doing their thing, but you got this big city with all these amazing benefits, but there's something dark there. There's something going on. And what I love about this book is Zach Kaplan's not casting judgment on any way of life right now or anybody's choices. He's laying it out stark as can be, and you're seeing the pros and the cons of each side. I think it's something that's actually incredibly well done about this book. Join the Future. When I say it's like a sci-fi western, you may have certain images in your head of things like Firefly. It's not like that. It's got its own tone. It's got its own pace, but it's definitely cool, real, subtle, nuanced, filled with subtext, and exciting all at the same time. At number 5, Finger Guns, number 3, from Vault Comics. Written by Justin Richards, with artwork by Val Halverson, Rebecca Nolte on the coloring, Taylor Esposito on the lettering. Finger Guns is such a great book, and this is probably one of the best issues of the series yet. It really hits an emotional peak here. I really like this book. The characters are what drive this book. It's got a simple, silly concept on the surface. It's about these two young people that meet up, and using their finger guns, they can manipulate the emotions of other people. And maybe they're finding out different powers, different ways to do different things using different finger guns and different hand gestures, right? It seems like it could be simple. And in a lot of other creators' hands, it probably would, but not in Justin Richards' hands. Justin is able to craft such an amazing story with this, and it's based and anchored by those characters. The characters are very fleshed out, they feel very real, they're relatable, there's something in each of them that I find inside of me, and it really amps up the drama of this book. This book is simple, and it's silly, and it's fun, but it's also incredibly complex, especially in its emotional resonance, not just with the characters, but with the reader. The artwork is fantastic, great stuff, a great pace and design and sense of composition. The coloring is top-notch. Some of the best coloring you'll see in comic books is in the pages of Finger Guns, and of course the lettering top-notch as well. Finger Guns is a great book. I'm excited to see where it's going to go from here, and if you're liking Finger Guns, you should check out the channel. Next Thursday, June 16th, 8 p.m. Central Time, Justin Richards will be joining us for Rockin Robbie Live with Justin Richards. At number 4, Something is Killing the Children. Number 8, from Boom Studios. Written by James Tynion IV, with artwork by Werther Del Adera, Miguel Muerto on the coloring, and World Design on the lettering. Something is Killing the Children is just such a fantastic book, and in my opinion, the best work I've ever read from James Tynion IV. Typically, I do like his writing. In fact, I love his writing, but sometimes it's a little verbose. It gets a little rough and muddy in the pace because of the verbosity, because of how many words there can be per page at times. Feels a little unbalanced. That's the James Tynion of old, and it doesn't apply when it comes to Something is Killing the Children, because Del Adera absolutely is able to do these elegant and elaborate layouts, compositions, and design work that really help that dialogue flow right through. It never feels stunted. It never feels stiff. It always feels free. It always feels flowing. I absolutely love this book. It's kind of like a murder mystery, but the murder mystery meets monsters, and it's really great. It's a subtle book that handles its moments of melancholy with expertise. The artwork is so fantastic, and it captures the tone and atmosphere of the story. There's a lot of mystery that's being built up on. The coloring by Muerto is absolutely essential to the tone of the story. The moodiness of it, the lettering is fire. Everything is working in perfect conjunction. Something is Killing the Children is one day going to be a very successful TV series or movie or something like that. Who knows, but it's ripe for the picking. This book is amazing. It's a great world, great mystery, great characters, just a great book. At number 3, Doom Patrol, Weight of the World's number 7, from DC's Young Animal. Written by Gerard Way and Jeremy Lambert, with artwork by Nick Darrington and Michael Allred, coloring by Tamara Bonvillain. This is bittersweet for me to put on the list. This is the final issue of Gerard Way's Doom Patrol. For now. We've already gone through a final issue of Gerard Way's Doom Patrol, and then it came back way sooner than I thought it would, albeit with a co-writer. This second series of Doom Patrol has definitely tied in and spun out of what happened in the first series, but it definitely established its own identity, its own flow, its own style, its own structure and setup, and I absolutely loved it. This is a great encapsulation of everything that's come before that Gerard Way has built up to, from the first series into this one. It's bittersweet because I don't want to see these characters go, at least under the direction of Way. I do think that one day they'll be back, but I don't know how long that's going to be. He seems to be a busy man. He's got a TV show. He's got a band reuniting as we speak. Who knows? But this has been such a fun ride. I would have liked to see his vision on Doom Patrol keep going and going and going. Alas, not to be. I'll just be grateful and thankful for what we have. But Doom Patrol is amazing, and if this is the finale and the last bit we ever get, to me it's very satisfying, although a bit of a tearjerker at the end there. I'm just not ready to let go of some of these interpretations of some of these characters, but the book is fire. At number 2, Skyland number 1, from Source Point Press, written by Frederick Packard and Joshua Valeri, artwork by Adam Cozart and AJ Young on the lettering. Y'all, I was surprised as hell about this book. I'm not really that big of a fantasy fan. This is a fantasy book. It's got a very simple story to follow, but it's got great interactions with the characters. It's got great cartoony artwork. The artwork really captures a certain kind of vibe that makes this kind of feel like this would make a great animated series or an animated movie. The basic gist is you got these 6 kingdoms, and in order to kind of keep them together, they each have like a serpent rider or whatever they want to call them. They're basically like somebody in a privileged position who is like this dragon rider, right? And I don't know, this is how they keep the peace in this kingdom, right? And so now there's this new generation of these dragon riders or whatever coming up, and it focuses on one of them, but Skyland is the name of this person's handler, this person's maiden, this person's helper and bodyguard. The story is very much centered on her. There's a bit of a mystery that's starting to unravel around it, but it's a very well thought out world and story. It's simple to just jump right into. It's engaging. It's compelling. I had so much fun with this book. It's got nice, simple, clean, animated style of artwork. The coloring pops and helps elevate it to making it seem like something that would just be absolutely fantastic to see on a small screen. I absolutely love this one. It blew me away, took me by surprise. This was my sleeper hit of the week and my number 2 book of the week, Skyland from Source Point Press. And at number 1, Alienated number 4 from Boom Studios. Written by Simon Spurrier with artwork by Chris Wildgoose, colored by Andre May and Jim Campbell on the lettering. Y'all, Alienated just gets better and better each and every single issue. That's not something that happens very often when it comes to comic books, especially miniseries, but this one I'm liking so much. I was never the biggest fan of Simon Spurrier's work until The Dreaming. I absolutely love that book, and then this one's just blown me away as well. I thought issue number 1 had a great concept. It's 3 kids named Sam. They go to the same school. They all feel alienated in their own way. Then, of course, they find an alien, and this alien connects them all together through a telepathic mean. Right? So now they can not only hear each other's thoughts and speak to each other, but they experience everybody's feelings. Like I said, they each feel alienated in a different kind of way. And it just kind of shows you that no matter how different you may be, no matter what your backstory is from another person, everybody goes through life dealing with suffering, right? And I really like that approach to this book. This book, issue number 4, gets deep, it gets dark, and it does it in a very real and grounded manner. I thought issue number 3 would be the best issue of this series, but it very well may be issue number 4. I loved it so much. The artwork is dynamic, but it really fits these really rich character moments as well. The coloring just perfectly pops for it. I am so impressed with this book, so enamored by these characters and the structure of this book and the thematic subtext that I'm absolutely just cannot get enough of this. I'm loving it. It's making the case to be one of the best books of the year right now. And if I had to pick one book to be the best book, as we're halfway through the year, though there were 2 months without comics, but if someone said right now, what do you think is the best book on shelves? Alienated is definitely one up there on that list, as well as other things. But Alienated, one of the best of the year. I absolutely love this book, and to me, best book of the week. So that's what I read, and that's what I thought about it. Those are the ones I suggest as my top 10. What's your top 10? Or top 5? Or top 3? Or just what's your favorite comic books that you're reading right now? Let's keep this conversation going. Let's share some of our favorite comics with everybody, and let's help expand our horizons as far as comic books go, whether mainstream, independent, or anything, whether in between or without. I don't even know what that means. However, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Click the notification bell. Join us at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, advanced reviews, and a whole lot more. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading.